one of the striking things that Pastor said was the fact that he said, God does not have authority over the earth. When he said that, I was like, wow, And then he now said that all the authority God gave to man when he said, have dominion over the earth. That means God's dominion over the earth is now being willed to man. And then he went further to say that our instrument of dominion is our words. See, a lot of things. Pastor said that the word is actually being framed by the words of God. That's according to scripture. And then he said that the building block of the universe is words. And so if the word is actually being framed by words, that means you can rule the word by your words. That was very heavy. Very, very heavy. And then one other thing that also stood out for me was the fact that Pastor said, the things that surrounds us are just becoming. And it is when you name it that they become. That means if you're probably going through something, it is only having a form. But it is when you now name it that it now becomes what it's supposed to be. And that was very, very powerful for me, because we know that we have facts, but we have truth in us. And truth is supposed to supersede over fact. I was so blessed.
It was when Pastor talked about whatever you say into your situations, it is what it is. At that point, and I begin to think that, okay, whatever is happening, anything I say to those things comes to pass. So I felt like even if you are going through one challenges or the other, don't say what would complicate issues. Rather, you say things that would solve this problem or solve this situation. For example, I'm having a family issue. So at that point, my mind flashed back to that problem at hand. And I was like, okay, from now henceforth, I would not say what will complicate the issues. Rather, will I say what would solve the issues and what will solve the problem.
Is when Pastor said our words are like doors that gives permission or denying the Spirit's access to our lives, and they are like keys. Like our words determines our health.
PJ taught us about the power of your words. And what really stood out for me today was when he said, your thoughts are also your words. Like, those words really, really stood out for me. And when he also said, your words can cause things to life, and your word can also bring death. So from today henceforth, I'm already start saying positive things to my life, because I know my words stand a strong ground of what I want to be. And he also said something like, your words can cause what not to be to be. Those words really stood out for me.
Was where I was reminded of the fact that God has no jurisdiction here, that I'm in charge. He has given it to man. Wow. That stood out for me and made me to understand that I determine what happens around me. And whatsoever is happening that I don't like, I have the authority to decree what I want. And in time, I will see it manifest physically.
You dominate by your word, and that for me is very, very powerful. And you know, Pastor was saying that everything that we see is not in its last state. That means it's not in its final state until you say it is in that state. So for me, henceforth, I will start naming things. Even if I'm in a situation that seems contrary, I will start naming it in a positive way. And with this, I am sure that I will begin to dominate in every spheres of life.
Your life is a revelation of your word. That means to say what you say is what you see. So I've come to realize that my mouth is really a pen, right? And whatever I say is the reality of my life. So henceforth, what I think, what I say has to be what God has said and not what I'm going through or what the reality of life is saying.
When he said the world that is around us is as the result of what we speak, that really, really struck me, because a lot of things that have been happening around us is because of what we declare from our mouths. And when he also said that the reality that we see is as the result of what we speak, like what you see is as a result of what we speak around us, the thing really, really struck me, and I take it to my life. And from today henceforth, I will make it in my mind to be speaking positive words in my life and in my business.
I was blessed when you said our thoughts, like we are speaking spirit. Oh my God, I'm a speaking spirit. It just tapped out the Superman in me. Since today, I've been talking in my heart, in my thoughts. I've been thinking positive and all that. When you said when God spoke to man stood up and started talking. I could imagine what man was saying. when he was naming the animals, and he was just he was just dominating. And I got blessed. I got blessed. And honestly, if you're not in this service, please try to join us next time. And as for me, this word, I will keep spreading this word all the films of the world.
It's when he said your word can destroy your testimony. It can break what God is doing in your life. So when he said this, I was just thinking, and I realized that no matter how the words I've been saying, if I've been saying good words several times, and the moment I say a bad word, then whatever God has been planning or whatever God is doing at that time will stop. And again, when he talked about our thought, that our thought is also our words, then I also gave that a meaning that whatever I'm thinking can also be destroyed. So from this moment onwards, I will be thinking right thoughts, I'll be saying right words.
The power Pastor said, there's power in spoken words, because most times we tend to say some things carelessly or without thinking about them. So when you have it in mind that, oh, what I see actually comes into existence, you will be a bit more conscious before saying some things.
PJ made us to understand that our words can change and our words can create. And he made reference to the book of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 3, that states that we understand through faith that the worlds were framed by the words of God. And PJ elaborated on it and made me understand that whatever is happening around us, we can create through our word. We can create the life we dream of. We can create the aspirations. We can create everything we want in life through our words. And he also made us understand that we can abort the testimonies of God in our life through our words. And that really hit me out. And he elaborated on it and made us understand that God can be trying to make a message out of your life, but because of probably your short-sightedness and the words you say, you begin to assume and remain in that position. And so I've decided that from today henceforth, regardless of what I'm going through in life, I'll remain positive as regards the words I say. Thank you very much.